I've always been a lover of the outdoors. I remember growing up in high school, frequently visiting the Matilija Dam in Heike, California. As a naive teenager, I saw this as a perfectly natural environment. A Shangri-La, if you will. It wasn't until years later that I looked past the scissors as being the work of a cool graffiti artist and researched their true significance. Knowing what I do now about dams and their environmental impact, I look at this place as anything but natural. In 2025, about 70% of US dams will be over half a century old. Understandably, resistance to dams is nothing new, as environmentalists in the early and mid-1900s tried to prevent their construction along thousands of beautiful riverways. As time passed, however, dams have continued to stand tall, and new generations have grown up simply accepting dams as part of the environment, not recognizing their associated problems that have seemingly been swept under the rug. Looking back at the history of the United States, there's no denying that dams were a major player in U.S. industrialization, at one point even being responsible for just under 50% of the United States energy. Dams also provide opportunities for flood control and water storage. In its prime, hydropower was seen as a scientific breakthrough, channeling water through dams and rotating turbines to generate power. While the energy was certainly glorified for being renewable, it was far from sustainable. When we were damming rivers, we were simultaneously damming their ecosystems. While hydropower may not pollute the water or the air, dams prevent fish migration, a key aspect in the reproductive life cycle for numerous species. Salmon, for example, have a migratory life cycle in which they are born upstream and travel downstream to the ocean. Come time to reproduce, they must swim back upstream to higher spawning grounds. With dams preventing their passage, salmon species are unable to complete their life cycles, becoming endangered in different regions. Dams also prevent the free flow of sediment and vegetation downstream, negatively impacting bears, whales, other members of various symbiotic ecosystems. Now backtrack to the Matilija Dam. While built in 1947, with an initial intention of water storage, it has since been filled up by roughly 95% with sediment, rendering it virtually useless. The Matilija Dam is a complete barrier and endangerment to Southern California steelhead, and deprives Southern California beaches of necessary sediment. Removing the dam, however, will be a major step in recovering steelhead populations, providing 17 miles of spawning grounds above the dam. Migratory issues aside, only 3% of dams provide hydropower, and many dams across the country are unsafe due to outdated construction. While arguments between functioning dams actively providing hydropower and fisheries persist, there is no debating the removal of countless dams throughout the country that are old, unsafe, and no longer serving their purpose, that continue to deplete fisheries and destroy river ecosystems. This project was inspired by DamNation. To learn more information and see how you can help make an impact, visit AmericanRivers.org.